Did you know that exercise is one of the most powerful tools for managing and preventing chronic disease? But not all exercise is created equal, especially when it comes to clinical populations.
Kent Nurburn states, the true measure of your education is not what you know, but how you share what you know with others. My name is Phillip,
And my name's Rachel.
and we're your hosts for the Clinical Exercise Chronicle Podcast. So the reason that we decided to collaborate to make this podcast is we wanted to make sure that we are bridging the gap between exercise science and disease management. We want to make sure that we are helping both patients and healthcare providers understand the power of movement and managing chronic diseases through exercise. So, Rachel, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so starting with my education background, I got a bachelor's degree in exercise science, and then I have a master's degree in exercise physiology. I originally went to school to become a physical therapist and then quickly realized that that was not for me. What changed my mind was taking clinical exercise physiology. I really loved just learning about the clinical population and how to help them at some of their most vulnerable time points in their lives. So that's how I got into that. I did originally start out in research. I was doing some sports research, exercise testing, did some research on foam rolling, and then I ended up actually in cancer research. And then from there, I ended up in cardiac rehab. Now, my certifications, they include the ACSM Clinical Exercise Physiologist certification, as well as the Cancer Exercise Trainer certification as well. And then through AACVPR, I have the Certified Cardiac Rehab Professional certification. So that's kind of my end here. Now, tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so my background is similar to yours. I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. I have a master's degree in exercise science, specifically in exercise physiology. Rachel and I went to the same school for grad school. We both got our master's from Cal State Fullerton. And my journey is a little bit different because my mom had a heart attack, and I had this idea in my mind that I too wanted to be a physical therapist, like you said, Rachel. But I also quickly realized that I want to do something different. My mom went to cardiac rehab, and I was like, wow. And one of my professors said, in exercise physiology, you can work with patients after they've had those types of events and work in cardiac rehab. So that's actually what drove me to pursue a master's degree, because this was during my undergrad. So from there on, I went full force, and I went did my master's. I did some internships. I became certified. I hold the same certification as you from ACSM, the Clinical Exercise Physiology certification. I hold the AACVPR Certified Cardiac Rehab Professional, and I also hold the NSCA, National Strength and Conditioning Association, CSCS, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. I've devoted myself to the field now I've been in the field now for just about 10 years, almost 11 years now. I participate in our local level. At the state level, I am the president of the California Society for Cardiac Rehab, and I also teach at a couple universities. I teach at Cal State Fullerton and as well as Cal State San Bernardino, and I teach within the Department of Kinesiology. So I feel like between the two of us, our expertise definitely sets us apart from a lot of others when we're talking about clinical exercise for sure. All right, Rachel, thanks for introducing yourself. Tell the listeners what they can expect.
Yeah, so from a patient standpoint, listeners can expect insight on how exercise can improve conditions such as heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, and much more.
Perfect. And for the clinicians out there, we will be discussing evidence-based exercise strategies for the management of chronic diseases. We will provide insight from firsthand examples from our experiences working with patients. We plan to provide expert interviews, real-world case studies, and evidence-based exercise strategies. All right, Rachel, why should people listen to us?
People should listen to this podcast because many people, even some clinicians, underestimate how powerful structured exercise can be for managing and even reversing disease progression. There's definitely more of a need for awareness and guidance, and this podcast will help fill in that gap.